Special World News Report. Europe grapples with youth unemployment. France has long had problems creating jobs for its young people. Youth unemployment during the downturn has increased more than twice the overall rate. According to an OECD report, and in the second quarter of 2009, almost 1 youth in 4 was jobless compared with 1 in 10 among all workers. The global crisis has also encouraged a rapid growth. In short term, contract rather than full-time, permanent employment, leaving French youth increasingly vulnerable and among the poorest segment of society. According to official statistics, roughly 800,000 young people arrive on the job market every year. Only with 650,000 pensioners quitting the labor market. President Nicolas Sarkozy, aware that this will be one of the major issues of the president's campaign last week, announced a series of measures aimed at getting youth and the long-term unemployed back into work. Let's hear from Clara and David for our entertainment news.
Thank you, Linda, for our world entertainment news. David Letterman apologizes to Lindsay Lohan. For once, the joke was on David Letterman. The talk show host had admitted he was done into thinking that Lindsay Lohan had agreed to appear at the Late Show. As market producer reported, Lohan recently denied the Late Show, claimed she was set to deliver the top 10 list tonight, tweeting, "I'm not sure how this happened, but I'm sorry for the confusion." Now, Letterman cleaned the air on how it all went down. The debacle began last week in following an episode in which he devoted his entire top 10 list to Lohan and spoke fun at the travel fair. This is Clara reporting live in Los Angeles, California. Let's have David for another set of entertainment news. And for our another set of entertainment news, Detroit raises funds for Robocop statue. Robocop could be making his way back to Detroit. Now the residents have raised more than $56,000 to erect a statue honoring the crime-fighting machine. Last week, Mayor Dave Bing received tweets from one of his followers saying, "Philadelphia has a statue of Loki and Robocop. He's a great ambassador for Detroit, but being shut down his request." Shortly afterwards, a campaign was launched to raise funds for statue and has reached more than $56,000. Surpassing the goal of $50,000 according to Detroit News. This is David reporting live in Detroit. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, David and Clara, for that entertainment news. And for our sports news, let's hear from Ryan and Jasmine.
Thank you, Linda, and for our world sports news. $7 million for a sport that nobody plays. It was one of the symbols between the two Koreas. When it opened 2 years ago, a continuous tension between the two Koreas. This is Ryan, reporting live in North Korea. Let's hear from Jasmine for our another sports news. Thank you, Ryan, and for our world sports news is first the paper boxer. Manny Pacquiao punches people in the face for a living. He is the greatest boxer in the world. The 8-time world champion Filipino fighter. He made his way to become a national hero in the Philippines and an international superstar. His team was his team worked hard to develop his punching technique. Pacquiao had a secret weapon to have faith in God, as he was heading to Washington to meet with heavyweight. This is Jasmine reporting live in the Philippines. Back to you, Linda.
Thank you, Ryan and Jasmine. Let's hear from Paul and Max for our weather update. Thank you, Linda. And your weather news update. The phenomena responsible for world bizarre weather. The catastrophic weather events taking place across the globe, from Brazil and Australia, flooding to the eastern United States, have two likely explanations: La Nina and North Atlantic oscillations. Unlikely responsible for the patterns we are seeing, the La Nina is different every time. It can be simply defined as a drop in the water temperature in eastern and a poor tropical Pacific Ocean. This is Paul reporting to the weather. This is Paul reporting to the Weather Bureau. Let's hear from the Max hour for another weather news report. Thank you, Paul. And here is another set of weather updates. While Southeast Asia and Australia can typically expect warmer oceans and more rainfall during La Nina, the effect area stretches further west this year and includes Sri Lanka and the southern tip of India. From sources, there is presently a massive Black Sea population on the way in Sri Lanka. Pictures of flooding that has already devastating. Australia has been inundated with deadly flooding. Unfortunately, it estimated cover an area the size of France and Germany. To the east of La Nina, South American North Pole that has been slammed with rain. This is Max reporting live in Sri Lanka. behalf of CNN's reporter, thank you for viewing.
This is Lisa.
This is Mike, and that's all for our news today.